Hey team, welcome to Inside the Movie Photographer with Jasin Boland. Today I have got an extra special groovy ripper of a interview. Now I'm not going to tell you his name right now, but I met this young photographer through Instagram of me just completely blown away with his work. It's some of the most innovative work that I've ever seen. He's probably the photographer that I wish I could be. And I'm not going to go on about it too much, but I'm going to bring him in right now. And normally I would give a little bit of a background, but he's written a background for me, which is so good that I have to actually read it word for word instead of me doing my research and adding more to it. Anyway, I'm going to bring him in right now. Jonti.
Hello.
Hey,
how you going?
Good, my man.
Groovy little ripper.
How are you? Yeah, you little ripper. Hey, I'm normally with these, right? I do a short intro because I don't want to know too much about people. I like to explore it while we're having a chat. And yours is an absolute dead set classic that I can't change any of it. I have to read it out. So I hope I don't embarrass you by doing it, but I'm going to.
You're good.
Okay. So this is not me. I'm reading on behalf of Jonti. I'm Jonti Wild. I'm Jonti Wild, 28 years old, a photographer from a small Aussie country town, known for my edgy style and storytelling through photography. I left Australia with 50 cents in my bank account, living off the stain of an oily rag in pursuit of chasing my crazy dreams. I've traveled the world shooting musicians, celebrities, and capturing moments that hit you right in the feels. From fashion portraits to live gigs, my work mixes raw emotion with creative flair. Now based in LA, I'm all about pushing creative boundaries, mentoring up-and-coming talent, and building a badass community of inspired artists. I mean, I can't change any of that, sorry.
No, you're right.
It's so good. And what I said before is about you're the photographer that I wish I could be. You really are. Your work is simply stunning, and I really love. I really love that. You know, you do self portraits. I used to do that when I was younger, and now I just don't. I don't do as much as what I used to. You know what? I know what it's like being on the road like you are, and it's hard to find times to just do stuff for yourself, right?
Yeah, I mean, I find it really thrilling as well, though, kind of like having that, you're under that time crunch. So, you've got pressure on you. You got to, because like I go into all these really nice hotels and I'm like, damn, this is such a good opportunity to take like self-portraits, and so I kind of just like, if I've got a spare hour, I'll just smash out like a few photos.
That's crazy. It's if I was younger and more handsome, I might need to get some laser treatment or something.
Oh no, you could do some artistic portraits for sure.
Oh yeah, I could grunge them up, right? And like, tighten up the creases.
Exactly.
It really is. I mean, like I've been stalking you on Insta for a while, as you know, and you do a lot with Nikon as well, right? You're a Nikon shooter.
Yeah, I mean, I've been partnered with them since 2023, like the very, very beginning. And I've been shooting with Nikon my whole life. Like my mum handed down her old, I forget what model it was, but an old Nikon film camera. And that was when I was about 8 years old. And then I was just like completely infatuated that I could freeze time with this little device. And then I had these tangible photos and I was like, holy shit, like, it's just insane. And so, yeah, to be able to like, be sponsored by them is huge and kind of overwhelming for me, especially like when that first happened, I literally cried. Yeah.
It's a great honor.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great honor. I was walking around a temple in Delhi, I think, when I got a phone call about being an ambassador, and it was like, holy crap, this is like,
it's cool, like,
it really is cool. And it's like, I've got Nikon license plates on my car as well.
Oh wow.
And yeah, I know, it's pretty funny. And like people look at it and it's like, you got Nikon number plates. I hope they give you money for that. It's like, no, they don't give me money, but I'm a Nikon ambassador. It's like, it's pretty rad. Hey, now
Yeah,
I'm going to bring in. I love this shot so much. It's like it's so vulnerable, and talk away.
Yeah, this is actually one of my favorite self-portraits I've ever taken, I think. And it was in a time when, I was dealing with a lot of shit. And, I just got out of a really horrible relationship and my self-worth was, in the drain. And I was struggling to like get back up on my feet. And so I decided to venture and do like more self-portraits to try and gain my, self-confidence back and my passion as well, because I wasn't able to do much art in this relationship that I was in, and I kind of lost myself in it. And so coming out of that, I was just, trying to get myself back, and I had this urge to create. And I went and started doing modeling, and this was another thing to like help me with my self-worth and stuff. So I went and paid $3,000 for a modeling portfolio, and that was like, I was like, holy shit, like I didn't have that much money then either, so that was like a huge deal, and I had to do it on a loan and like pay it off every month. And then I got back, I submitted my portfolio to a modeling agency, and then I got signed to a modeling agency. And this was actually a time where I guess I I started to grow like really as an artist, because I had to, face all these challenges that I went through. And I just found taking self-portraits really helped me like get to the place that I needed to be. And so after having that portfolio taken, I was like, fuck this. Like, I'm going to start taking my own portraits, because I could have done that. And I kind of just like dug myself a hole, because, now I'm in debt. And, I just, so I just started taking these self portraits and posting them on Instagram. And, it started getting a lot of traction. And then, you know, people started saying, hey, like, I love your self portraits. Can you take photos for me? And that's when I started taking photos of other people, like paid. And it just like, that was like a real moment for me where I was like, holy shit, like I've always wanted to do this as a career, but now I can like finally see that I could actually do this. And yeah, I remember taking this photo in my bedroom, and I had a turtleneck on, so it was like easy to, it's not like much Photoshop involved. I just put a really cool texture over the top. But yeah, this photo, I guess, is like the old me now. But, you know, I think I needed to take that photo to be able to move to the next version of myself, I guess, if that makes sense.
That is such a cool story, because I purposely didn't look at too many of your images, because I like to be surprised. I've got a screen up in front of me, a big screen here, so I can have a look at everything. And I was looking to change the first photograph, and I saw this, and it's like, far out. That's powerful. That's vulnerable. I'm going to throw that up. So it's kind
Yeah.
of interesting that I should have chosen that to kick us off.
Yeah.
That this is
Yeah.
the beginning of your career.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, like this photo got a lot of traction on the internet as well. And I don't know, it just, I think people can connect with this a lot as well, because it feels so raw and real. And I was always bullied as well, like as a kid, because I was very much into Tumblr, and I was taking a lot of self portraits, very cringy poser kind of stuff, like. And so I was getting bullied. I was getting bullied by like my brother and all his friends, and just people in high school just like telling me that I was like, oh, actually, I probably shouldn't say that, but they were just telling me, that I was a poser and a loser and blah, 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 blah. And so this moment was when I was also just like, fuck everyone. Like, I'm going to do what I want. And, you can call me like whatever you want, but this is me. And yeah, this is what I'm going to do.
Jonti Raw, I really love it, and it's really good advice too for people out there to especially this day and age with social media and the teens and that. I talk to my son and his friends about it. Even the girls. It's like you just got to switch off. It's like who cares? Like people are going to
Yeah.
say stuff, and you don't have to believe it. You don't have to listen to it. And I find quite often the ones that are doing that harassment and bullying are the ones that have actually got the problem. And then when you actually
Yeah.
speak to them, they're like, oh my gosh, I didn't understand, I didn't get it, and it's them trying to make themselves feel better.
Literally,
Sad.
it's them reflecting
Yeah,
their problems on you for sure.
yeah, 100%. And come on, I'm going to do a lot of this. Oh, come on. Now your technique is, I can't even describe it because I'll probably get it wrong, but it looks like there's a lot of, it looks like there's blending, but it also looks like it's just single movements of camera. Everything, a lot of it's done in camera, right?
Yeah, a lot of it's done in camera. I mean, I do use Photoshop quite a bit just to like give my photos the feel that I really want it to have. But this was, done with a projector, and I use a projector quite a bit because they're just like so much fun. It's like unlimited possibilities. You can change the images on it, and instant light change in multiple directions. You don't have to faff around with different colored gels and stuff like that. So this was like a quick way for me to, I guess, get my artistic approach out. And then I'd just either put like Vaseline or a stocking over the lens to get like a nice blur. But this is a double exposure, but I done it in Photoshop. So it's a photo stacked on top of the other photo, and then I screened it.
That's so brilliant.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that blows me away about your work is your technique, and it's so unique. I honestly don't think I've seen anyone do anything like it. And we were talking about Tim Page earlier before, and another good friend of mine, Stephen DuPont, he did a series with Tim Page where he did the same thing. He put Tim behind a white silk, very see-through silk, and then projected his images onto the silk
So
with Tim
sick.
behind it. Right?
So sick. Yeah. I love stuff like that. Like it kind of gets the viewer thinking outside of the box. Like, how did they do that? Is that like edited in post? Is that like, what's the technique? Like it kind of like tweaks your brain a bit and you're like, what?
That's exactly, 100%. It's like, when people are looking at one of your images and go, how do they do that? That actually is key, I think. And
yeah, it stops you in your
that's what a great image should do. You should exactly that. It should stop you in your track and make you say, wow. Oh, it's like, and the lighting. Now, do you use a lot of constant light and strobe, correct or not?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I love strobe. I love flash. But this was done with a lantern, an aperture, I think 600. I forget what number it is, but yeah, aperture light with a big lantern, and then I put it over Kenzie's head, just a little bit in front of her forehead, and as simple as that, like one light source, and it turned out super sick. Yeah.
It really does. And not sometimes, but most of the time, that simple, 1, 2, 3 lighting setup is it really is what brings everything out. I've been I use Hobo Light a lot now.
Okay.
I don't. Well, they're now called Harlow. I don't know if you've seen them at all. They're beautiful little lights. So I've got them all turned on actually.
Yeah, you did a story, and then I was like, wow, I'm gonna go check them out. They're really cool.
Yeah, I can hook you up with that. That's easy. Whatever you want, because they're beautiful, because those the lights that you want to leave in shot as well, and they come with really nice. They have really beautiful modifiers, and you got Boland's mount. Oh. See, this is the sort of stuff that I would love to shoot.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that wasn't real.
I love your honesty.
That wasn't actually in the Valley of Death. I wish I could shoot there, but it would have been way too inconvenient to get out there. But yeah, this was just done in our studio on a white backdrop, and I just lit it in a certain way that matched the background of this image. And so I was able to really like key it in, and then I created the shadows from scratch by drawing them in Photoshop.
No
Yeah,
way.
yeah, yeah,
See, this is what I like, you know, and but you know, I'm sure that you get the AI question a lot, which I do as well. And for me, I use generative fill a lot for like getting rid of equipment on a film
yeah,
set. You know, if I've got a
yeah.
boom in the shot, it's
Just
just
little
so easy.
things like
Whip it,
that.
yeah, and it's gone. And I always like the idea of that of using it to build on an image. You know, I know this is not AI, but having the having that main image that a photographer has shot, and then being able to build on it with, you know, with backgrounds now. I think that's a really good use of it.
Yeah, I mean, I think I mean, a lot of people ask me as well, like about AI and if I'm scared and stuff like that. But really, I'm more excited. Like, I just think it's gonna open up so many more ideas for me and possibilities and potential for images to become something more than what they are. You know what I mean?
Well, exactly, and I think too, because you and I deal in reality, you know, especially with your rock and roll and, you know, fashion and things like that. You can't, you know, you can't use AI for a fashion shoot for a
Uh,
collection, and you can't
no,
do it for rock and roll, and you can't
no,
do it for an actor.
you
So
can't AI the crowd in. You definitely cannot.
apart from stock photographers, I can't really see who it's going to affect
Yeah,
greatly. You know,
yeah,
maybe graphic artists. This is a beautiful shot as well.
yeah. This was a super fun one. Me and Kenzie, you know, this is my girlfriend, and we always shoot just like randomly. Like we'll just do like a spontaneous shoot. And we live right in the heart of Hollywood, like right on Hollywood Boulevard where the stars are. And yeah, it's fucking chaotic, honestly, but it's good fun for shoots. Like, you know, if you get it at the right time. And we just randomly go out and we'll do just like some crazy fashion kind of photo shoot. And I love using slow shutter with flash. And this just created like such a chaotic kind of hustle bustle city slicking shot. Yeah, it's really
Yeah,
cool.
it is very cool, and it's funny that you should say that about the slow shutter and that. You know, I'm a big fan of using as slow a shutter as what you possibly can, and just
Yeah,
getting even if it's a tiny little bit of movement. You know, it just brings an image to life, doesn't it?
makes it so unique and raw and yeah, just more of like a one of one. For me, it's like painting as well. Like I love painting as a kid. I still love painting, but that's like the main reason why I dived into doing photography because it's like a quick creative outlet in comparison to spending a few weeks on a painting. So this is like I guess more resembles like a painting for me is like using the slow shutter.
Wow. Okay. So the slow shutter's your brush.
Yeah, I mean you can paint with light, can't you?
Yeah. Well, that's what we do apparently.
Yeah.
Well, you do it better than me. I just go and steal other people's light.
Oh nah,
Oh, look at that. Oh,
sick one.
oh, come on, man. You do a lot with water, right?
Yeah, I love water. I mean, I can't really put my finger on like why. I feel like it's just because it's this it's a constantly changing thing. Like it's like fire as well. Like so attracted to fire as well. I'm a bit of a fire bug, but I just love the fluidness of it, and it's you're always going to get a unique shot with it. It always makes an image just that bit more dynamic when you have it in like a portrait. Like say if that water wasn't there, that would just look like a you know pretty regular mugshot. Um, but it just added so much edginess and just like I don't know, it just looks nuts.
It does look nuts. I'm sorry, but it wouldn't just be a regular mugshot. But anyway,
Yeah.
but I'm with you, and I love shooting in snow and water as well because exactly what you said. It's never the same, and you actually don't know what you've got until you get back and go through it.
Exactly. It's such a rush too, like going back through it. You're like, oh, look at this little bit there. And it's, yeah, it's so fun.
There's so much to look at. I could look at this image for ages. It's like you know, even the on the temple, you know, it looks like it's melting, and because you're on the road a lot now, right, with all your music stuff, like you're quite
Oh yeah.
hugely in demand.
Yeah, constantly on the road, and yeah, whenever I get like my nice quiet time, I really do appreciate it. But yeah, it's definitely has its benefits being out on the road. You know, I feel like being in a new country, you know, almost every day is pretty exciting, but it, as you can imagine, gets tiring. And yeah.
But it's always, I mean, I don't do much photography for myself when I'm at home, but when I'm away, I do explore a lot, you know, and I really enjoy that. Does Kenzie travel with you?
Yeah, she does every now and then. Whenever we get like a good solid break within like, you know, a city or a country, I'll be able to like fly her out for a few days, and then we'll, you know, do some shoots and have a good time, and then she goes back and I continue the tour and then go back home. But yeah, we
Yeah,
we travel to a few places and do shoots, which is, you know, such a privilege because I know not many people are able to do that, you know.
yeah, no, 100%. It's you got to take your family with you, you know, as often as you can.
Yeah.
Just keeps it real, um, and you know, to experience these things with them. See, that's
Yeah, real core memories, you know.
yeah, right.
Mm.
I love this. I love this whole series. This whole series of ideas.
I just love how the water kind of distorts as well, like distorts what's behind it, and it kind of, I don't know, it just looks almost like it's very ethereal and like out of this world almost, you know.
Yeah, it's totally out of this world. It's I mean, I can't even describe it. I'm not even going to try. I was going to say it's very sci-fi, but I'm not even going to try. It's like, get it. And then, so yeah, this is more of your slow shutter, and
Yeah, this is with
so
the
cool.
10.5 millimeter fisheye. I use that so much, and yeah, I just got my mate to walk and stumble around like he was drunk, and got in between two skyscrapers, and you know, freezed him with a bit of flash, and it just looks so sick. Yeah,
It's so much fun though, isn't it? Like, you know, you get a friend together, and you know,
yeah,
go in late at night, go out and explore a
yeah.
few things, and
Usually like those collaborative test shoots that you really get some insane shots, just like the spontaneous things where you're just doing it out of passion and the love for it. And you know, as well as like the other person, like they love what they do as well. And it's just like you both can get hyped off the photos and just enjoy the process of making the art. I think that's
yeah,
like
totally.
what really makes like a good memory as well. Like I feel like I can remember a lot better when I do photo shoots. Like I can remember my photo shoot days so much better than my average, you know, like walking around days. It's weird.
Jonty, I look like I have this conversation all the time, and there's not many other photographers that say the same thing. But like when I'm doing, like, you know, when I'm on the other side of the camera kind of thing,
Yeah.
people will be asking me a story, and I'll be showing my photographs, and I can tell a story from every single photograph that I've ever shot in my entire life, whether it's about a setting or just someone that I spoke to on that day or some crazy little thing that happened.
You're just capturing your memories, and that's like the cool thing about it. And you can have those forever. And you know, as you get older, it's like harder to keep attached to those memories. So like I think it's so cool just building your book and being able to like look back and be like, wow, like I remember that. That was so cool, you know?
Well, I can tell you, I'm old, and I can still remember. Like, I think of, I look at a photograph, and I can still tell you from 40 years ago something that happened not during that shoot or on that day.
Yeah,
So,
amazing. So sick.
tell me the story here.
Yeah, it looks a bit questionable, doesn't it?
Yeah, a little
um,
bit.
this was on a this is BTS from a music video that Bring Me the Horizon did for Lost, and it was at a abandoned mental asylum in Los Angeles, and super freaky place. Like, it was what are those things called where they pull the dead bodies out and they keep them on there and they cut them apart to,
Oh,
see.
in the mortuary for
Yeah,
what's it called? A
starts with M, I think.
autopsy.
Oh yeah, it's like like that. They had heaps of like old ones where they got the drain for where all the blood runs out. It's just like freaky stuff. Anyway, this was like one of the first scenes that we shot, and there was just like a lot of, I don't know, this stuff kind of like just reminds me of my past as well, because I got mixed up with the wrong crowd, doing drugs, alcohol, and just, I don't know, just for me this image is just like speaks a lot with like alcohol and addiction and drug abuse. Yeah.
It really does, because it's just like, give me a handful of anything that you've got.
Yeah. It's nuts.
Love it.
Yeah, that's fuck, where was that? That's in Germany. I forget what festival it's called, but yeah, Machine Gun Kelly and Oli just chilling backstage. That was a fun one. Yeah.
I bet. So who's some of the bands that you've toured with?
Just Bring Me the Horizon. Yeah, they're my favorite band, and I don't really see myself working with any other band unless it's some A-list celebrity like Justin Bieber, Post Malone, something like that. I'm basically just doing this because I genuinely love the band. They've set such a high bar and expectations to like the tour and live show world, and I just can't see myself working with any other band. I've heard a lot of stories, and these guys are just so chill. They're so nice. They're fucking hilarious. They're very understanding, and it's just like a good bunch of people to be around. Like, you just hang out with your mates, sort of thing. Yeah.
It's nice, that relationship, isn't it? When you're allowed to come in there with your camera, and you're pretty much the only person allowed to be in there with your camera, because they trust you.
Yeah, it's a good feeling. Yeah, I can't really put to words how it feels to be working with them, because it's kind of become the normal for me. But I can tell you, like, the first time I ever worked with them, I was shitting bricks, because like I used to listen to their music so much, like, and I remember reaching out to him years and years ago, like, I'd love to shoot you, like, let me know when we can, or whatever, hoping that he would reply. I only had like 2,000 followers, and then it took 2 years for him to see my message and be like, yo, sorry, I just seen this, but let's shoot. He seen a video of mine on TikTok and started following me. And then I think I was in Poland, and I see this message, and I'm like, get fucked. Yeah.
That is so cool. I love this. See,
Oh,
your work is so real and spontaneous, and it's just every image that I look at of yours is just insider.
Yeah, I love the raw and grittiness, and just like capturing those one-of-one moments that you just like can't recreate, like this, he wasn't going to go back up there and slide down again if I miss the shot. Like, it's either I get that shot or I don't, but I just remember seeing him heading towards this staircase, and I quickly sprinted right up, just pulled my camera out, had my flash out, and just shot it, and it turned out great.
It really did. So do you do a lot of, like, even in a situation like that, your strobes off camera?
Yeah,
your handheld
I just have my camera in one hand and then my strobe on like a monopod, and then I'll just like hold it in the right position where I want it, because I don't really like how the flash looks sitting on the camera. I think it looks a bit better when it's up and pointing down a bit. Creates like a nice shadow under the jaw, and it's just like less generic, I guess, a bit more character.
Yeah, because that is a theme with your work. is you like to bring the cheekbones out, and that's obviously part of your technique.
I think it just gives even just like the live stuff like a little bit more of like a fashion kind of twist, like you know, I don't know. I've never seen anyone do it for, you know, like live photography, so I just ran with it, you know. Works for me.
Yeah, I haven't either. It's oh my god, you just blow me. Oh, come on.
Yes. Yeah, I remember sending this to him and he was like, "Get fucked. This is so sick." Yeah,
It is so sick.
that was the first ever time I shot Bring Me the Horizon, and there's a bit of Photoshop gone into this. Obviously, like his eyes are lit up, and then I added shattered glass screened over the top. But it really added like that "fuck you" kind of energy to it, and just looks so dark. And it just this photo is like how it feels to listen to their music for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
That is cool.
yeah.
Yeah, I can see why they love you. Oh my gosh. So I always wanted to do rock and roll stuff, and it's like, you know, and just music in general. And I started, you know, when I was a young photographer, I was doing all that sort of I was doing all that sort of stuff. But you know, you free stuff for a band, and you know, I never really went anywhere for me, and I wasn't any good at it either. But this is just nuts.
Yeah, it took a lot of adjusting for me to, you know, start getting cracker images. I mean, the first time I shot with them, there was like so many images that were just unusable because I just wasn't used to those lighting conditions, and I just loved my slow shutter, so I was just shooting a lot of slow shutter. Yeah, I mean, I'd done some, you know, like little party things, like when I was a teenager, like house parties. I'd just do a few photos here and there, but I knew that's like not what I wanted to do. I actually wanted to be a rock star when I was a kid. Like I can't sing for shit. I sound like a dying cat. I can't play guitar. My fingers are like sausages. So I have to like, I don't know. I find myself just capturing these images and being like, fuck yes, like this is where it's at. Like, I don't know. Yeah.
No, I totally get what you mean, because you want, because you've wanted to be that, you understand it,
Yeah.
and you're able to show the world what it's like to be that, because it's what you wanted. In a way, I guess you're projecting yourself of how you wanted to see yourself as a rock star.
Yeah, I suppose you could say that. I haven't really looked at it that way, but yeah, I could probably do some digging on that. But I'd say you're on the money. Like it's really, yeah. I mean, I'd be sick to just be able to belt out, you know, songs and sing on stage and perform and stuff like that. But there's also like a beautiful part about capturing these moments as well. And I'm now that I'm in the position that I am, I don't know if I'd switch that out, you know, because I'm very introverted, so I don't think being a famous rock star would work well with my personality, you know.
Yeah, but there's a lot of introverted rock stars and actors as well
Yeah,
that only come out when they're performing.
yeah, that makes sense. Yeah,
And I
this
mean,
was
you're a
a
performer.
not really. I mean,
Oh man, I've seen your videos. Anyone that hasn't seen Jonti's Instagram, and I don't know, do you do YouTube as well, or is it mainly everything Insta? And
yeah, it's mainly Insta, but I will be diving into YouTube a bit later on. I'm just trying to, it's scary for me, like being on camera and recording myself out in public and all that jazz. But yeah, eventually I will be on YouTube. But for now, I'm just posting shorts and stuff and putting things up here and there. Um, but yeah, I've got terabytes on terabytes of sick, insane footage that would make great YouTube videos. It's just about me finding the time to edit them and just being confident in myself. I mean, you got to start somewhere, haven't you?
yeah, you really do. It's and success only comes from failure. Don't forget. So you'll make a
Exactly,
couple of
yeah,
mistakes.
and it adds to your
And,
story as well, like failing.
yeah, yeah, totally. I mean, you know, my career is completely littered with my failures,
Yes.
and but looking at your Insta, it's like you do these wonderful behind the scenes of how you did it, and you know, it goes to show who you are as a person, that you're not threatened by other photographers. I mean, I keep a couple of secrets to myself, and I'm sure you do as well. But pretty much, I mean, like I think that says a lot about a person to be so open with your technique.
Yeah, not gatekeeping. I feel like you know, even if I did give away my blueprint of how I take all these photos, like I sell my presets, which is how I color grade my photos. I show you the BTS of how I shoot, my lighting conditions and stuff like that. Even if I do show you those things, you will never have like my eye to be able to capture the things that I see. So like, you know, I could give you all the tools to do that, but you'll never be able to do it how I would do it, you know. But like it works hand in hand, you know. It's no one could ever really truly copy your style and your eye. It's kind of untraceable, really. I mean, you can take bits of inspiration, but it will never be purely my art because it's my eyes that took it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you can't recreate your DNA, yeah, I fully agree. It's like, you know, you can, and it's nice for people to try and emulate what you do. It's
Yeah,
like,
that's what I used to do. I mean, I still do it every now and then with people that I look up to. You know, I just take bits and pieces from people that, you know, I get inspired by, or I just get, you know, some kind of connection from, you know, what they're doing, and I'll just implement that little bit into my art, and then, you know, it eventually will evolve into your style, you know.
yeah, 100%. Because, you know, I look at a lot of my back catalogue, and just out of an interest of where I've come from and who I am now. And it's kind of interesting to go back and look at images which I dismissed 20
Right.
years ago.
Yeah.
And then I look at it and they're more indicative of my style now. And I'm kind of like, wow, that's really interesting that I didn't like that then.
I
But
know.
now,
The taste grows, doesn't it? It's like the photos that you just don't like back then you look at them now and you're like, wait, this is actually really, really sick, you know.
right?
So I
That's,
always find myself going back and going through my archive, re-editing and bringing that back to life, because it's like, it's so like me now. I don't know.
yeah. And especially when, you know, when you've got your style, you know, I mean, it's really weird for me because I'm in such awe of your work and your style, because there's so much that goes into it. Whereas mine literally is just picking up a camera and pointing it, and, you know, putting on a screen what I see for other people to see the same as what I have, kind of thing. But what you put into it is it's a whole journey, you know. It's really I I don't know. You said it before about being raw and gritty. You know, raw, real, and gritty. It's you don't get any better than that. If you can show someone the truth with an
Yeah.
image, then
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I grew up and I went through a lot of hard times and I've seen some horrible things, and I just, you know, even just like, it's just, it all comes down to, I think, my upbringing, and I just was drawn to the rebelliousness and the chaos and the nitty gritty. I loved I just love the edginess and the chaos and how it makes you feel, and the adrenaline, and I don't know. Just like the raw realness, like someone crying, someone laughing, like, and then being able to like put that into a photo look back at it and feel that feeling again, it's super sick.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Feeling like looking at the image and feeling the emotion of that day.
Yeah.
It's like you and your water, hey? That's
Bloody
just so
fish
cool.
tank.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
I just got a
One
little
of the
20-year-old fish tank and put some water in it and dunked my head in it.
that is so cool. Oh my god, you're nuts! I love it. I'm going to come and hang out with you. I'm going to be in Europe from January 3 until May, I think it is. So if you're over there doing anything, we got to go and play. You got to come out to set and hang
For
out.
sure. That'd be so sick. I'd love to come out and set.
Where was the little town that you grew up in?
It's called Mittagong. It's in New South
Yeah.
Wales, like 2 hours south from Sydney.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
A good spot to grow up.
Yeah, I mean, got a bit rebellious because you get bored. There's not much things to do, so you got to get creative, and I guess that's what led me to a bit of trouble. But definitely lots of fun.
Yes, at least you got distracted by the light, and look who you've ended up. That's the main thing.
Yeah, I think I needed to go through all of that stuff to become who I am now, because otherwise I'd be a completely different person. I'd probably have my head screwed on, and I'd probably be in finance or something,
Yes. And yep, sitting in a cubicle all week and then taking your camera out for a weekend warrior.
Yeah.
Oh, I love these.
Yeah,
they're such great people to photograph by the looks of it. Look at those faces.
Yeah, good bunch of lads.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Oh my gosh.
This was actually such a high pressure shoot for me. I think I knocked this whole shoot out in 15 minutes. But I had like Sony team in the room. I had the magazine cover people in the room, and then all of the band's management. And I was just, well, not all of the management, but a lot of people. And I was just shitting myself. Like, I was literally shaking. There was no music to keep the vibe up. It was just people watching me shoot them. And I was just shooting myself. Like, it's usually chill when I shoot these guys, but because I had like these eyes on me and it was quiet, and then there was this pressure, I just smashed it out in like 15 minutes and called it. I was like, yeah, we got the shot. Let me out. But I was like squatting down to get the shot, and my knees are literally shaking like this. And I'm like, fuck, hope they don't see that.
Oh my gosh, I love it. And is this is a single shot? It's not stripped in?
No, yeah, single shot. Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, 10.5 fisheye.
10.5.
Yeah, 10.5 millimeter. Yeah. This little boy.
But how are you keeping it so it doesn't distort? Is that just the Nikon glass?
So I actually do lens correction in Lightroom. So
really,
basically, I take the photo on the fisheye, slap it into Lightroom, and then I'll do some lens correction, which is basically de-warping it so it'll make everything flat instead of curved.
Wow.
And so it's really great for doing things like fashion and stuff like that, because it makes the body and legs look long, but you have to get it in the right spot. Otherwise, you'll get a really long head or really long feet. But it's all about finding that sweet spot.
So is there, in the original, without shortcuts and stuff, but is there more headroom that you've had to find the sweet spot? Right, okay.
Yeah.
Is it kind of, if you've got the center of the frame, is it kind of like between the center and the top of the frame? Or, I mean, don't get me too easy.
You see like so much. Like, this is very cropped, this photo.
Right.
It's very cropped. But yeah, you see like beyond the cyc wall.
Right.
Yeah. And it's all curved. Like, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I can send you the raw so you can see. I don't know.
Yeah, I want to see. I love all that stuff. Wow. That's another Jonti, right?
Yeah, it's a little self-portrait number, mate. That's just like that was actually right before the first show I ever did for Bring Me, and I was in my first ever hotel I stayed with them, really nice hotel. I was just like, holy shit, this mirror bounces off into the other mirror and it looks infinity. So I just like stuck my head in there and then got my camera and done like a side profile shot, and it looked so sick. It's some Matrix looking thing.
It looks like an absolute complete poster shoot. Like,
Yeah.
it's very, very cool. Very cool.
That's another thing I love is like mirrors and just like how it can reflect things and repetitively, like infinity. It's just nuts.
It is nuts, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like, and finding all these, finding these actual natural creative craziness out in the wild, instead of having to, do things later. It's kind of, it's nice. Like we touched on it before. It's nice to be able to have the raw architecture there and then build on it.
Yeah, and I just love seeing like little random details. Like I can find literally inspiration from anything. You just got to look in the right spot. Yeah.
Yeah. And do you always know when you're looking at the right spot, or or sometimes you discover it later?
Sometimes you discover it later and you shock yourself. You're like, holy fuck, like even this old house that I used to live at, I lived in it my whole life. And then I left for a few years and then I come back and I'm like, holy shit, like this is actually so aesthetic. Like the window light at this hour coming into the bedroom lights the bed perfectly, and then just like got a bit of smoke. It's like cinematic heaven, It's just like little things like that. Yeah.
Yeah, little things like that. No, exactly. It's interesting because you do, as a photographer, it's like where your familiar territory is. If you're there for longer than a few days, you do start to go, oh, the light's good at this time or that time.
Mm-hmm.
I got to tell you the story though. This is the biggest idiot story in the world. So my kid is in my son Hunter. He's in Canada playing hockey at the moment. He's at a hockey school. So one of the practices that he had to go to is in the country. So it was like an hour from the town that he's living in, and it was fall, the beginning of fall, and I've never been at any length of time in fall before, and so I was just mesmerized by the colors. And there was this, on the first day that I went there was this tree in the middle of a cornfield, a single tree, and it was just starting on fall, so it was just this beautiful color, and all you could see was the corn, the top of the corn, and this tree, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that is so beautiful.
Wow. Yeah.
And so I'm like, you know what? I have to. I didn't have time that day to wait for the light to get better. So the next practice, which was 5 days away, I came back to photograph it, and of course all the leaves had gone.
Damn.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, you are a freaking rookie, dude.
Damn. Yeah. Usually you have to just like jump on that the moment you see it, because it won't be the same in a few days. I mean, some things will be, but especially when you're messing with nature, like it's constantly changing, constantly evolving.
I'll let that one.
You missed a killer one-of-one shot.
Yep, I certainly did. I really did, and it'll haunt me forever. And I won't make that mistake again twice.
Yeah, anyway. It's almost like leaving for a shoot and leaving your fucking SD card back at home. Like it's just like one of those lessons that you're just not willing to risk again.
Oh man, I shoot CF Express, but I have them hidden all over the place. I have them in my car. I have them in my wallet. I have one in each different case. I have a spare one. It's just like exactly that. I don't want to get caught out. It's like, oh my gosh. And I mean, that's what we're lucky with now, of like being able to charge cameras in the car and things like that, which just plug into a USB-C and away we go, right?
Yeah.
I love this shot, by the way, and I don't know how many people are going to realize how extremely difficult a shot like this is to pull off, apart from yourself and a few others?
Yeah, this is, it's always a bit scary actually getting on the stage, especially when it's like a prime stage shot like this with all the confetti going off and stuff like that. It can be a bit intimidating, but this was like a super sick moment. He actually fell on the ground after this, like intentionally. But yeah, it's like a Matrix kind of shot. It's like you could almost picture it kind of camera panning around him, and it just, I don't know. It looks really cool though, super dynamic, caught in the moment.
I mean, a shot like this, are you shooting on manual focus, or are you still going with auto? And I mean, like, and go deeper for me if you don't mind, because how often do you shoot manual focus?
Pretty often for live stuff, because with the focus, and especially like when it's got that auto tracking stuff on as well, I can't deal with that shooting live stuff because there's so many lights going off. There's so many people's faces that it could just like track off to. And I've tried it, and I've lost some really good shots because it didn't focus on the subject that I wanted. So for things like this, especially like going on stage, I shoot manual. But yeah, when I'm doing like fashion portraits and it's like relatively clean background, I will shoot, auto and have that tracking shot because it's just like much easier. It's less to think about. But if I wanted something in particular to be in focus, I'd go into manual.
Yeah, right. And I mean, I don't know whether you are the same, but I love it when I'm in manual with focus peaking. I find that the most helpful thing that I've ever had in my life.
Focus peaking. What's that?
Jonti, you don't use focus peaking?
I don't know what that is. I told you I'm not technical. I'm just clicking away.
Wow. Okay. So focus peaking in manual. Which camera are you on?
I'm on the Z8 and D750.
Okay. So your Z8, you don't have it on your 750.
Nah.
Your Z8, you turn it on, turn the focus peaking on, and what it does is, I use red, so it will do a solid and the brightest red that you've ever seen on what is sharp, right? So you can check out your depth of.
Right.
So in a situation like this, it's quite easy to see what areas are sharp, and you can set the different levels of, whether you want all of it. And I do a lot of manual focus with the action. I know that sounds weird, but it helps me with the focus peaking to know my parameters of what depth forward and backwards that I've got.
I've only got that on. I use like a box for my focus, and whenever that is on a clean focus, it will be green. If it's not, it will be red. So like that's when I am able to tell. But I'm gonna check that out. That sounds super interesting.
Because what it would do, right, is like if you're focused on him, he would be a solid red.
Yeah.
But the confetti, as it goes further away and closer to you, go a lighter red, and so that you can feel what the main part of it. I think you'd like it. Wow, I can't believe that. Maybe I taught you something.
I definitely have. That's kind of interesting as well. I'd like to see how that looks. It could almost be its own little artsy filter.
Yep, absolutely. Drummers, you got to love them, right?
Yeah. It's always scary getting up and on the top of this podium because it's up high and, a lot of tripping hazards potentially. I just got to be really careful, and it's like everyone can see you up there. So, yeah, I'm always holding my breath when I hop up. But, yeah, it's a lot of fun. I usually just hide behind the drum and wait for the shot, then I'll jump up and quickly get it and then dip. Yeah.
Have you ever had a fall on stage?
No, but I have caused a fall.
Did you?
Well, not really. So at the time, I was like on the bottom of a staircase, and one of the band members was pouring water on their head, like for a shot, and like it was like trying to do like a Garnier ad or something, like a real sexy kind of shot, he reckons. And So the stage gets wet, and then I quickly run from my little sexy photo shoot on stage, and then my other mate comes in, who's the videographer, and he slips on the stairs, falls back, and fucking lands on his back, wins himself, and he screwed his back up real bad. And I didn't see it, but someone else did, and they were like looking at him like, "Oh fuck, like you, yeah."
Oh my God.
But yeah, I haven't tripped yet. Touch wood. I'm just like so scared of that. I'm scared of pulling out cords. I'm scared of accidentally nicking someone. Yeah, fuck that. That's like in my nightmares for sure.
Yes, I have the same nightmares, trust me. But
Being late or tripping on set.
yeah, or just holding up, just doing something that they have to do the take again, especially if it's like, imagine like it's the best take that the director had and you screwed it up. It's like,
Yeah.
I mean,
no,
I get in like very rarely, but I get in shot every now and again. But I usually, when I'm in shot, I've usually made it a spot where it's easy to paint me out. But on one of the Thor movies, I got hit by a dolly.
Fucking hell.
There was like 6 cameras going or something, and I'm like, I'm usually really so well planned of where I'm going to be. Like I'll pick out, it might be a 5-minute take, and I'll pick out a 4 or 5 second shot from that whole take, and I'll go and line it up. And then it doesn't matter how many times you've done it and seen it, something will change. And you know what it's like with you guys, with you doing a film clip, we call it rock and roll, where you've got the dolly sliding back and forward.
Yeah.
And I just didn't have, I shoot with both eyes open so that I can see what's going on, but I just did not. Yeah, I was looking at a different dolly and this other one hit me, and it's just like, they all think it's funny because it's like, I'm meant to know what I'm doing. I do love reflections, and I do love light, and I do love smoke, and I do love fog, and this has everything.
Yeah, this was at a sound check, and the stage was like covered in this new plastic, like it was very new black plastic, and the light was hitting in like the best way, where it was creating this reflection. There was smoke everywhere. And so basically all I did was added in these artificial ripples, like around.
No way.
Like, so it looks like it's water, but it's actually plastic. Like, yeah, that was like one of those shots I just knew what to do with. I was like, I'm putting some ripples here, so it's like he's walking on water,
Oh man, that is so good. I love the way you see. I love the way you think. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, this is like blending fashion into rock and roll, this one. I am up on a staircase looking down.
This is 2 images?
Yeah, 2 images. Actually, the creative director actually just put these 2 together. He was like, I love this image and I love this image. Let's put them together. And they work great. It's almost like their one image, and Oli, the main singer, is just like huge in the background.
It is, and it's for me. It's confusing my brain, as in, it's there's a lot of David and Goliath there, but there's also, at first I wasn't sure whether it was a screen.
Oh yeah.
In the background.
Yeah, it kind of plays with your brain a bit.
Yeah, and then the sparks and
mosh pit.
I hope they caught him and he didn't just fall there, right?
Oh no, he was just taking a break.
Oh, really?
This dude, he was going hard, and he just decided mid-song he's going to lie down and just like look up at the ceiling while all these people are just belting around him. I was just like, this is a good shot.
It's crazy. Yeah. It's so cool. Yeah, but then, and there you go, there's your slower shutter and your movement, bringing an image to life. That'll be a completely different image if it was shot 500th of a second.
Yeah, 100%. You gotta add that bit of life and realness to it for sure. Because like
you really do. This is such a masterclass for any young photographers out there, and because there is so many that start off, doing music, and for them to see the images and how you do bring a single frame to life is just, I love it. Oh, look at that.
Yeah, Matt, he goes crazy. He's the bass player, and he's got the craziest kicks and moves. But he's like such a chill dude. Like, he's very quiet, keeps to himself. He's funny, but like when he goes on the stage, he goes crazy. He's so sick. Yeah.
Is that with your 10.5 again?
Yep. So that's
lens, huh?
that's with the lens correction. So yeah.
Is that your signature lens, you think? Oh, come on. Sorry, I should have stayed back.
Yeah, this is such a sick shot. I think it's at Grass Pop Festival. That was nuts. Like, that whole show was insane. Yeah.
Oh, you can just look at that forever. There's so much going on. Just,
I even love the little images of him on the screen. Looks like a demon.
Yeah, it looks like completely like expressing the devil, getting an exorcism.
Yeah.
The crowd, and just like even the rigging and the lasers, and there's so much going on.
Yeah. It's like sensory overload. This is like one of Oli's favorite songs, Can You Feel My Heart? And so basically he finished singing, but he pulled away his mic and continued screaming, and I could hear it just through my in-ears, and he just like continued screaming, and I was like, holy fuck, I kind of got like goosebumps, because no one else is going to really be able to hear the screaming because they're so far away. But it's just like so sick, and it's like he's such a good performer. Like, yeah, it's just like little things like that. I don't know. It almost felt personal, you know?
Yeah. When you can feel the breath on your face when you're in close. Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about. Not like this, because this is I mean, like, because there's a lot going on, and there's a lot of, I mean, you've got the intimacy of a special shoot in a studio where it's just you and the subject, but here you've got thousands and thousands of people, and you're the one that's getting a private performance for yourself. I mean, that's
front row.
Yeah, man. That's
I actually filmed this shot, like me getting this shot, and it's just like really cool looking back at like shows that I've done and finding when I captured the exact moments of my favorite shots of the things that I like got, and it's made me like want to do it more and more, because it's just like a cool thing to have, you know. Like, maybe one day I'll want a documentary, or like, you know.
Well, Nikon have been using a lot of your stuff lately, I've noticed. So, and that's the sort of content that they need. How did you video yourself shooting this?
So I have an attachment for my, you know what an Insta360 is?
Yep.
Yeah, so I have an attachment for that, which is basically a belt, and it wraps around my waist, and then I screw in the monopod, and then I put it on the back, and then I pull it all the way up, press record, and then it looks like I got a big antenna sticking out of my back, and just run it like that, and just let it run throughout the whole show and chop it up. Basically looks like I'm a GTA character just like walking around.
Oh, that is so cool. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I want to just come and watch you. Eyes, hey, the windows to the soul.
Yeah, it's really cool. Like, making this was just fun as well, just looking into people's different eyes, and it's just, I don't know, just seeing them all come together as well. It gives you some kind of feeling, because they're all different humans, and I don't know, there's something different about all of it that makes you feel the same about all of it. I don't know, it's hard to explain.
Is each eye a different person, or is there two eyes of each person in there?
No, all different people. Yeah.
That's even cooler. Yeah. It's really cool trying to pick out their ethnicity and just backgrounds. It's like, you look at the piercings and you think of that, and you look at the blue, you look at the makeup, and it's
Yeah, some
You
people
know,
are on drugs, some people aren't.
yeah, right. What's the red pupil?
That's with a shitty trash cam that I have. It's like a really crappy, like I think it's like a 5 megapixel camera. And it just made the pupils red. You know how like you take photos of like a dog or something and they go red?
Yeah,
Like that's just what it is. It's just from the
that's
flat.
so cool.
Yeah.
Is that your muse? That's not Kenzie, is it?
No, that's not Kenzie. This is MJ, who is a model in Germany, and we did a shoot in London, me, Kenzie, and her, and then she recently came to Los Angeles, and we did this sick shoot where our makeup artist Bex put together all these piercings on her face, and it's like right up my alley. I've always wanted to do this shoot for so long, so I was super excited. And yeah, we put all these piercings on MJ's face, and put some special effects stuff on her, and yeah, it's just like such a cool look, especially with like the suit and like the shirt and stuff. It just looks so sick. But these are Kenzie's lips that I got her to kiss paper, and then I got a scanner, and then I scanned it, and then I screened it on top of the photo.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, Kenzie's everywhere in your work. I love it, man.
Yeah, scatter her through everything. She's she keeps me grounded, but yeah, so inspired daily, and I'm very lucky and grateful to have her. Yeah.
You are.
I
You really are.
can shoot whenever I want, and she's always so
Yeah.
passionate and down to shoot, and yeah, it just makes my heart sing.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's absolutely beautiful. I love fire.
Fucking spastic. Fire's just unbeatable. Like I always have the urge to light something on fire. Obviously, I'm not going to, but I would love to just like explode something. I would love to explode a fucking house and have someone standing in front of it and get a sick shot. I'd love to get a bazooka and blow up a car just to see it. Like, I don't know. It's I'm not like crazy, but I just love the look of it,
I kind of burned a house down when I was a kid, but anyway,
Well, kind of
that's another
burned a house down when I was a kid. Let's just drop that lightly.
and then well, it was actually a vacant block, but it was like it nearly burnt down the whole neighborhood. And then
My God.
and then me and my friend went over and we laid underneath this tree and watched it as the fire brigade came to put it all out. And it's like, oh my gosh, it was a complete accident.
Yeah, I bet you're like, fuck, what have I done?
It wasn't intentional. It got out of control, but I was only like, I can't remember. I was really young. I was only 4 or 5 or something like that, playing with matches.
No, you get away scratch free. You don't know any better at that age, for sure.
No, exactly. Exactly, right?
Yeah.
So, no one can blame me.
Curious child,
I was in so much trouble all the time. It's like I wasn't kind of groovy and edgy like you, but see some similarities in our behavior. I love the way that you see something and you just feel like capturing your own emotions. It's really very cool.
Yeah, I don't know. I sometimes get a bit bored of it, and I try and find ways where I can mix it up a bit, but usually that inspiration comes back when I find a new location or I have a new piece of clothing, or especially with like self-portraits and stuff like that. Like it's hard, it's easy to be uninspired if you're constantly wearing the same thing, constantly in the same spot. But if you go out, explore a little, find something different, especially if you like step outside of your comfort zone and try something that you normally wouldn't do, something beautiful is just bound to happen.
Yeah, and just little things too. I don't know how intentional your placement is and things like that, but the light on the left, the door open, the light pocket on the right from the bedside, and
that's just me being messy, I guess. But it adds character. Yeah.
It really does. I mean, like you talk about the Matrix a lot, and for me, I think about the door openers. Like in life, we've always got to have an exit, and this shot to me screams that. It's like I've got my exit.
Yeah, ready to run. Oh, this was probably my favorite, maybe second favorite photo I've taken in my entire life. Well, not photo, but photo shoot. This is when Hurricane Hillary came through and rocked Hollywood. And me and Kenzie were sitting on the couch, and I'm getting these fucking cautions on my phone. Like my phone's buzzing, like I'm like caution, like hurricane coming. And I'm like, get fucked, let's go. And it's all over the news, like Hurricane Hillary coming through, taking out the towns and stuff like that. And I'm like, fuck, it's sounding intense, but I think we should like go out. And so we hop out, and there's fucking like barely anyone on the street, and the wind was like so strong you could jump and it would like push you the opposite direction, like it'll push you. And the rain was so fucking strong, and Hollywood literally looked like it was flooding, which is like pretty rare to see. And so we just went out and captured the best we could. And yeah, it was just insane. It was such a good experience. It was such a rush and so much adrenaline. And I feel like you can feel it almost in the images from this shoot. Like I get that hit, it was just so fun.
You can feel it all right, and the flare, and just and even to the timestamp with the with the movie poster. It's it's very, very cool. Oh my gosh, come on.
That's in front of the Scientology building in Hollywood. Yeah. But yeah, look how flooded the streets are. Like they're literally making waves. It was just fucking insane when that happened. Like photos will never do justice.
Yeah, this is the actual same night. So this was earlier than this one?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
If we ever do a print swap, I want that.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh my gosh. That is just,
it's almost giving like Gotham City kind of vibe.
Oh, totally. And with that's and also, like, this is what I was talking about before, is like shooting as slow as what you can to get the movement, like with the rain and stuff like that. And then what people don't realize too is like, sometimes with the rain like on Matrix, we're talking about the Matrix again, but we had a scene in the Matrix with Smith and Neo duking it out in the rain, and we used to call it chubby rain, and because it was so fat, but you would get the streak even at like 160th of a second, because it was just so fat and moving. You don't have to really bring it down to, and I mean, do you have a favored shutter speed for rain?
I think 250 is like a good sweet spot.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
there you go.
I just didn't want to go too slow because that would like risk getting other, like I wanted to capture like what it was, but I didn't want to blur it out too much to where the water becomes smooth, or start seeing streaks from the car headlights, like from them moving and stuff. I kind of wanted to capture that stamp, but still see that it's raining, and
because it just looks like a little bit of degradation, which is just perfect for this. Oh, my God, blow me away.
This is MJ again. This was when we shot in London. Yeah.
So good.
Shot.
The way you light, the way you see, the way it's like, and it's a bit of a rookie question actually, because I probably know the answer, but it's more for other people. But how much, how much of it is planning and how much of it is just pure spontaneity? I mean, you know what you're going to get, right? But
Yeah. I kind
you
of like,
get there and just cut loose, right?
oh yeah, like there's no going there, location scouting, saying, yeah, I'm definitely getting her in this phone box for sure and shooting her this way. Like I will get the location, but I'll just run with every possible angle I can think of, and whatever feels the most fitting, we usually sit there the most and try and figure something out. But I
Yeah.
feel like the planned shoots never like really go as good as those, spontaneous, like off the whim kind of just like you're all kind of like going on a creative tangent and saying, oh, like let's do this, and you're bouncing ideas off each other. And it's like so exciting.
What you're saying exactly that is you have an environment and then you just cut sick in the environment,
Yeah,
and this is
exactly.
the sort of stuff you get.
Yeah.
Amazing. Oh, look at that.
Yeah, this is when I first started really, I guess, doing landscape photography. I always used to go down to the coast and just play around with my slow shutters and capture the movement of the ocean. And yeah, I'm such a water ocean boy.
As a photographer, I really feel it's important to specialize. I mean, like you've got to be able to branch out and have your fun. And for me on a film set, the behind the scenes images are my landscapes. They're sort of like my hobby on a film set.
Right.
And but my main guts of it is shooting the performance and the action, and the performance that an actor is giving the director.
Right.
And that's what that's my kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then everything else around it is kind of like a little bit of a hobby, to a degree.
My main butter is probably portraits, but I think it's so important to not lock yourself into just one specific category. Like, especially if you're an artist, like I can't help but take a photo of the landscapes and be so drawn to that and maybe go and be obsessive over it for a few months. Like I can't help not doing that. Um, so I think it's kind of important to be versatile as a photographer, and especially if you're going to be chucked, like thrown in the deep end, and you're like got to figure something out. Like it's just like a good thing to have in your toolkit. Like, oh, I can take photos of weddings. Oh, I can do real estate photography. Oh, I can do landscape. Like I can do all this. But yeah, being a master at one for sure. But I think if you knuckle everything down, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if that answered your question, but yeah.
No, it answered the question from you, and that's what I wanted to hear.
Yeah.
It's like I can do one thing. It's like during COVID and then through the strikes and that, I was like, I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, I actually do not have another skill set. I cannot go and put food on the table for my family unless I go and drive Uber. It's like,
Yeah. I mean, I'm very creative, so I can't help but, find the little details and things, and just like, I don't know. I used to do upholstery, and I did that for 9 years, and I had my own business, and it was like very successful. And at towards the end of it, I had slowly turned that into my photography studio, and then eventually started traveling the world for photography. But throughout that time of doing upholstery and stuff, it was just like finding those little artistic things. Like even though upholstery wasn't what I wanted to do, it was still like that creative outlet for me, because I was using my hands to create the pleats on the couch to make it like from something to nothing. And I feel like that implements into my photography.
that's
Yeah.
beautiful. From nothing into something. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's brilliant. So that's the remnants of a night on the strings, huh?
Oh yeah. That's all the blood splatter.
I've never seen that before.
Yeah, so that's just called shredding.
That really is shredding. Loving this chat, by the way, Buster.
Yeah, it's good.
It's nice to talk to other photographers that do things completely different, but you also have some similarities as well of
Yeah.
the thought process.
Oh,
It
for
helps.
sure.
It just helps to reaffirm your own
Yeah, it makes
style
you
and
feel
beliefs,
like
I
you're
think.
not crazy as well.
Well, I'm sorry, but we're all a
Sorry
bit
to
odd,
inform ya.
Jonti. We're talking of odd. Here we go. I love it.
Oh yeah, this is one of the main scenes in the Lost music video, and yeah, Ollie just had all these blood and guts just splattered all over him, and I just thought it was such a sick shot to get him to smile
Yeah,
with all this blood on him, like he's an absolute psychopath, and it's just another one of those images where you look at it and you're like, what the fuck, like
yeah.
how, how do you think of something like that, you know? It's
Is he in
kind
a
of,
straitjacket?
yeah, yeah,
So cool. So,
yeah, this is
oh
sick.
my gosh, your framing, your lighting, your shadows. Oh gosh.
Yeah, this is my friend Josh Beauchamp, and he's an insane fucking dancer. He's a professional dancer, and I love working with him every single time because, you know, working with dancers, they know exactly how to move their body, and I don't tell them what to do. I'm just like, you do your thing. I'll just get in my spot, and you just send it. And yeah, I love shooting Josh so much because we always get the craziest photos and compositions, and it's always extra dynamic.
Oh, it's so good. Oh, look at
Yeah,
you again with your little light pockets.
little projector moment.
It's really it's a beautiful technique.
Yeah, we thought it'd be like a sick idea to do like a half face, and then like a skull projection on half of his face. And so, yeah, it's the kind of vibe we went for. So it looked like half his face was
Yeah,
a glowing skull.
I love it. I love yeah.
Yeah,
This is your same buddy from back from here,
yeah,
right?
yeah. This is also
Was it the
him
same
too.
day?
This is also him. The other one back, the
Oh,
skull one. That's him too. Yeah,
oh, cool. Yeah, what a head, hey?
yeah.
He's a fit
He's a
lad.
groover.
He grew.
Yeah,
I love it.
super sick. Like he just hopped up and just like jumped up and propped his arm up and went dead straight as if he was standing the other way. But
I mean,
yeah,
it totally is. It's like it's perfect.
yeah,
And just like, is this your handheld strobe again, or have you got it on a
yeah.
stand here?
Yeah, that's his handheld. Yeah,
That's how you're getting all that those beautiful shadows, isn't it?
yeah.
It's like
I
a
just love seeing that shadow. I don't know, because like if it was down a bit more, you wouldn't see it much. You know.
no. It's like the drop shadow on a font. It's like
Exactly. Yeah.
so cool.
Yeah. This
Love
is
it.
when he first lit his Zippo lighter, and the flame was fucking huge. And I just captured it at the right point, and it kind of just looks like this soul getting sucked out of the lighter or something. It's so cool.
That is very cool. That's actually my next tattoo is an arrow.
An arrow?
Yeah, yeah. But I want to do it. I'm obviously there because it's. I think it symbolizes moving forward, right? And
Yeah. Yeah.
the future.
Uh-huh.
But I want to get it in. I want to get it in sort of like Buddhist with a Buddhist Om Mani Padme Hum with the along the shaft of the arrow, and then maybe a lotus for the feather. And then I'm still trying to figure out what to use as the actually arrowhead, whether it's a drum or what. I really don't know.
What do you mean by like a drum on the arrowhead?
The drum, like a Tibetan drum, like because they have a little point at the end of the drum, and whether that as the arrowhead. So like the feather as a
Lotus.
the feather is a lotus, and then the script, the Buddhist mantra Om Mani Padme Hum as the shaft of the arrow, and then
Right. That's
and then the arrowhead. Yeah, it's been in my head for nearly 10 years, and I just can't see it right yet.
Yeah.
And the one that part that's holding me back is the arrow. Maybe I just use an arrow. I don't know.
That could be what ties it together and makes it, unique.
See, I knew it would come. I just needed help. All right, I'm going to try and do that. No, maybe someone will see this and design it for me, or maybe you'll sit there one day on an airplane and just go, hold on.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool. I'll wear a Jonti Wild tat on my arm for sure.
Get one of these bad boys.
Oh yeah, right.
Bloody warped. But yeah. This was a cold one. This photo.
Where is it? Where is this at?
That's in Toulouse in France, I think.
Oh no way! And that's you on the balcony, right?
Yeah. I set my camera up on the other balcony that is, where it is, and set it up on a self timer and connected it to my phone as a remote trigger. And then I just went and hopped out on that balcony, and it was very cold, but the lighting is so beautiful.
Oh, the lighting's glorious.
Yeah. I remember.
It's like it must be down the end of the alley. It must be getting it off the other side, right? Off another building. So good. It's morning, right?
Yeah, it was morning. I remember waking up and I started seeing the sun come through and what it was doing to the buildings. It's like that soft kind of glowy feeling where I'm like, oh, there's no way. And I've always wanted to get like a shot kind of like this in Europe, on a balcony. And this was my time. I was like, I am doing it. Yeah.
Oh, you make me want to start my career as a photographer all over again.
You just gotta I don't know. If I didn't wake up early that morning, I wouldn't have done it. I wouldn't have seen it this way. And I think it's just like also coincidence of waking up and also just having in my head like I need to get this shot,
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I would have regretted that because I'm staying in a beautiful hotel in France. Like, why fucking not?
No, exactly right. And my favorite light in the world is morning light because you actually have to work for it. You have to wake up for it. Whereas, a sunset, you just sit around all day drinking beers waiting for it.
Yeah, facts. Yeah, the morning light's way more rewarding for sure.
It really is. Even an overcast, crappy day, you'll get something out of it.
Yeah, for sure. This is
love these vulnerable moments you give us all, my man.
This is where was this? This was in another hotel touring. I'm just like trying to keep my creative momentum going. So I do these little self-portrait shoots and keep myself inspired and going. But yeah, this is very inspired from Tumblr kind of vibe.
That's so good. So good. Oh, come on, stop it. This is why I don't like going. This is why I don't like going through the photos because I love exactly what we're talking about before. And when you're saying about people being blown away, this is the true reaction because I haven't. That is so good.
This is a happy accident. This is like a very overexposed flash photo, but it just feels so raw and genuine. And this is in Poland with the big capital. It's like that Russian building in Warsaw. I forget what it's called. It's very famous, but it just had this sick red light. And I was like, let's go do a shoot here. Yeah, really
so
cool.
Good, so good. Oh, I love it. That is crazy stuff.
Yeah, that was a fun one. Burning the grand piano in the backyard.
Is that the last time that piano played a song or what?
Yeah, fucking. Yeah, that was in charcoal bricks by the end of it, but that was such a fun one to shoot. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I wanna burn this is what I'm saying, like, I wanna burn more things and document it.
But when you get back to Australia, I've got all the guys that can do that for you.
Oh, that'd be sick. Yeah.
Oh,
Let's do it.
we can go and have a crazy freaking shootout. Like I do
Let's
workshops,
do it.
right?
Let's do it.
Where we set people on fire.
Oh, let's do it.
Yeah.
I'm so down.
We'll come up with some like we'll get Nick on together and we'll do a
Yeah,
Jasin and Jonti special.
sounds sick. I'm
And like
so down.
we can mix some of the stuff that you do with some of the stuff that I do, and
Yeah,
like we can just go for mental.
that'd be mad. That's a good idea.
Oh my gosh. See? Oh my, I love that.
Yeah, this is for an album cover, and basically we to set this up, we shipped uh some glass. It was a tempered glass. It was like this thick. We shipped it to our hotel room, and then it's heavy as fuck. Like it was so heavy. We had to. It took like 3 of us to physically move it. It was so heavy, and then we bought 4 cinder blocks, like big cinder blocks, and then we took them up to the hotel room. Then the next day we hired a van, and we went down and chucked everything in the van. We took it to Hyde Park in Sydney and just set it up there. And we took the hotel little face washer towels just to put between the bricks and the glass, and we just gently placed it on top, and I slapped my camera underneath, and then just put it on a remote trigger, and got a big soft box and just shot the shit out of it. Yeah, it was so fun. This shoot actually got me seen by a lot of people, and I actually made like a fake Doc Martens ad, and I posted it on the internet, and it went viral. I got like 1.8 million likes, and it went crazy. And Doc Martens seen it, and then they DM'd me, and they're like, "Oh, we love this shoot. Um, can we do something? Like, can we shoot something?" And I was like, "Fuck yes!" Like, I wear Doc Martens. I've been wearing them for decades. Like, I would love that. So they send me some shoes, and a few days pass by, and I fucking wake up to my Instagram blowing up of being tagged in a post. They're a bunch of people just tagging me in the post saying, "Oh, you ripped off Jonti Wild. You ripped off Jonti Wild." I'm like, "No fucking way." And I go and check the post, and they've literally ripped off my style, this exact style of image, like the same composition, the same way I shot it. And they posted it on their social media. And, it was so fucking disheartening seeing that. And I was just like, what the fuck? And I had everyone was on my side, but it's at the end of the day, it's a small creator versus a big fucking corporation. And yeah, I was so fucking mad with them. I had like an hour-long convo with them, and basically they pulled it down to being the photographer's fault that actually took the photo, because they gave him the creative control. And then the photographer's DMing me like paragraphs and paragraphs of like how it was his idea and that he never seen my stuff. And I'm like, dude, I actually released this like so fucking long ago. You've definitely seen this idea. And the fact that Doc Martens reached out to me, and then the next few days you've posted this, it's a bit sus. Like,
That's disgraceful. That
yeah.
is
And
just
I was so tempted to be that controversial photographer and fucking do like a whole ass video about it, but I was just like, I'm never gonna win. Like, and I don't want to be petty, like, but this happens all the time. And yeah, I've never worn Doc Martens since. Like, I burnt the shoes they sent me, and one of the other boots my dog uses as a chew toy. So yeah.
good.
Yeah.
That is just, you see, I don't get this crap. It's like, I mean, I don't know why they actually didn't just buy this image and pay
Because
pay all of you.
because the reason why is like this was a collaboration drop that they did with a brand, and it was an old collaboration drop, so it's not really going to promote anything new that they had. So they what they did, they hired another photographer that was more convenient for them, and shot new shoes and completely ripped my idea off. But the internet was on my side. They had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of comments. They literally told me, they're like, stop posting about this, blah blah blah, can you tell everyone to stop? And I'm like, I literally haven't said a word. This is all people that know that I came up with this concept. Like, I haven't said anything. It's out of my control. They're going to say what they want to say.
They were asking you to stop. Oh my gosh. I got to move on from this one, because otherwise a whole show on its own.
Literally. It's a mad one. Fisheye vibe.
Love it.
Yeah. Some hooligan energy.
Oh man, you and this fisheye.
This was on Cockatoo Island. Have you heard of
Total hooligan energy. I'm going to say the Cockatoo Island in Sydney, in New South Wales.
Yeah.
Near the...
It's like near the Opera House.
The old naval base.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, the old naval base.
Yeah, they got some cool shit there. Perfect for shooting films and stuff like that. Yeah.
Can you camp there, or was it illegal camping?
No, you can pay to camp there. You can get like a big tent, like they're already pre-made tents, and yeah, it's really sick. It's all sorted.
Really?
You gotta bring your own food.
Like glamping.
Yeah, literally glamping.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah, it's a big ass bonfire we lit up.
That is so cool. Where's that at?
That's in Byron Bay, in Billy Nudgel.
So good. Is this your projector again, or?
Yeah, it's a projector vibe. This was actually one of my first test shoots I ever did with another model. She was really cool, quirky kind of girl, super artsy, and we just started creating just like random stuff, and she had a cool, unique look, and we just created cool shit, and this is like one of the things that we created. Yeah.
She looks very dystopian.
And this is the first human being that ever paid me for a shoot. Shout out to Hugo.
Really?
Yeah. This was my first ever paid shoot.
Is that two images, or is it a reflection in a...
That's a mirror, and it's a flipped image.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. So if you flip it around, that's water on a mirror. With
right.
Little blossoms that haven't quite blossomed yet. I don't know why I put them there, but it kind of added to it.
Oh,
it's my favorite. This is my favorite shoot ever. This is the Wrinklies. These are my grandparents in their retirement village, and I dressed them up to look as cool as I see them.
I'm on a Facebook page called Skaters Over 50, and this is exactly Skaters Over 50.
Yeah, it's sick. So my grandma actually has been a huge, support for me in my art career, and she's a painter herself, and she used to do a lot of like illustrations and stuff for magazines and stuff before they even had photos, like for the product images. They used to be illustrations. And then she started doing art classes and stuff like that. And then she introduced me to art classes and was always teaching me how to do different techniques and work with oil paints and pastels and all kinds of different mediums, and was always like pushing me on. And my grandpop, he was very supportive in like helping me, get to photography college and pushing me in the right direction, and just like keeping my head screwed on a bit. They're both still kicking it strong, and they're just the most, inspirational people I've had in my life, apart from my mum.
Man, that's beautiful. It's a very, very special relationship that a grandchild has with his grandparents.
Yeah.
And I had a wonderful relationship with both my sides, and my son, he only pretty much only gets to see my parents, and I get a bit jealous of his relationship with them at times, actually, because they're so tight, and like he's 17 and he's still go over, you know, he's in Canada at the moment, like I said, but before he left, he was still going over and staying at their house 2 or 3 nights a week, you know.
Oh, so nice. Yeah.
Thank you so much. It's like
Yeah,
I had
thank
so
you.
much fun.
Yeah, it was super sick. And maybe next time I interview you and pick your brains a bit.
You can do that whenever you want. That'd be a lot of fun. That'll get you ready for when you do your YouTube channel.
Yeah, fuck. God, one step at a time, eh?
Yeah, right. No, man, thank you so much. And it was an absolute pleasure. And I'm not even joking when I say you're the photographer that I probably wish I was.
Oh, sweet of you. Thank you.
Your creativity blows me away because I don't look at myself as being an artist in any way, but you are a true artist, and it's really something else to pick your brain about your technique and just to see what makes you tick. And I like what's inside of you. So thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that, and I appreciate you taking the time to, you know, interview me. It's a world first, and yeah, it's been super sick and easy, and yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Any time, my man. You're a pleasurable human being to know, and
thank
and I
you.
hope that well, thanks. I hope we get to become stronger friends as time goes by, and a lot of the yeah, I do too. I hang out with a few of the younger crew. Like one of them was a guy Corey Creed, who's a world champion moto rider on pipe, and he's about your age as well, but he calls me grandpa, and and whenever he's got something interesting, he calls me out. He's the one that I tested the Z9 with, and you know he's in a lot of my videos. He just like I ring him up and it's like, Corey, let's do something crazy with your motorbike. He's like, yep, let's do it.
Let's go.
You know, he's my Kenzie.
Yeah.
All right, bro. Awesome. Take care, man.
You too.
Love you.
Good chat.
Cheers.
See ya.
Well, team, I told you that was going to be a dead set ripper. Jonti is one of the most creative people I've ever spoken to in my life. I just love everything about his photography and his techniques too. They're pretty rad. And he's got big heart. He's all about the sharing. Go and check out his Instagram and his other platforms. You'll never be disappointed. He's posting new stuff all the time and a lot of behind the scenes stuff as well, which is really, really cool. So if you like this one, if you could do the bell and like and subscribe, then you'll hear next time that I've got another video that drops. So cheers.